school one day, Mary little lamb followed her to school one day. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo, very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo, very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press.
Taking pride in Mobile, taking pride in Mobile. Come on, let your spirit show. Taking pride in Mobile. We're growing, shining, winning, so we're taking pride in Mobile. We're over young, we're fast and slow, and we love watching our future grow. Let's tell the world so they will know, and we're taking pride in Mobile. And wherever I may go, I'll tell them I'm from Mobile. We're over young, fast and slow, and we love watching our future grow. Let's tell the world so they will know, and we're taking pride in Mobile. And wherever I may go, I'll tell them I'm from Mobile. Taking pride in Mobile, taking pride in Mobile.
To quote Mr. Rogers, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? To quote Mr. Rogers, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day in the
710
neighborhood.
Time Saver
Would
Traffic
you be
from the Main
mine?
Street
Could
Flooring
you
and
be
Design
mine?
Traffic Center.
And watch for a crash on East 9 Mile Road at Jernigan Road in Pensacola. Also, heavy congestion south on Highway 59. It's about an hour and 15-minute drive from I-10 to Gulf Shores. Also on the Bayway, east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore, 37-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches and pains hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
The Uncle Henry Show, weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 13. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore. Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 13, from the King James Version.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Also streaming live on YouTube. You can find the Uncle Henry Show on YouTube. Just look for Uncle Henry Show. And once again, here we are together, me and you, trying to figure out what is going on in the world around us. And certainly there's good in the world around us, but today is one of those days where you got to look for the good, because the evil is really on the billboard today. The evil is really out there today for everyone to see, getting the top headlines today. The evil really getting the top headlines today, no doubt about that. Very unusual day. I don't know what your work day was like. If you just got off, you might be listening in on your way home or to and fro. But you had the assassination, the murder of Charlie Kirk today of Turning Point USA, as I'm sure you've heard the story by now, as he was beginning a talk with some students out in Utah on a college campus. Can't say there's been many days that I've sat and watched someone get murdered on my phone at work from a variety of angles. And the crime that Charlie Kirk committed to get murdered for, to get assassinated for, was to debate people, to go to college campuses, sit down, and have civil discussions and debates. If you're not aware of him or never paid a lot of attention to him, he's very popular with younger people. So maybe you, the listener, not as familiar with Charlie Kirk because of his popularity with the young, but that's just basically what he thought, that the way to win hearts and minds and change minds was just to sit down and have an open dialogue and be willing to debate anyone and let people that openly disagree with him come up to a microphone and have a public debate and just ask questions, have a dialogue. And that got him murdered today. And I hate to say it, but just looking around, because this news started coming out around 2 o'clock this afternoon, at least for me. And I started looking around online, social media, all the different platforms. And I hate to say that it looks to me that things are going to get worse before they get better, because I saw lots and lots of celebrations. Lots of celebrations. People online just happy, talking about how he deserved it, joking and being happy and celebratory about this guy's death. And his crime really was to say things they didn't like and debate. That was his crime, going out, sitting in a chair and saying things they didn't like. Wasn't making policy, wasn't an elected official, just said things people didn't like. And people just think this is fantastic, celebrating it. And that's why I say I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's celebrated, his assassination being celebrated today. And this kind of harkens back to the Luigi guy. You may remember the Luigi guy, not gone to trial yet, that went and murdered the CEO of United Healthcare. People thought, oh, well, no big deal. My health insurance is too high. So they didn't mind the guy getting murdered. Even wanted to make a romantic symbol out of Luigi. And here we are with this type of shooting. I don't know where it goes from here. I hope not a lot more violence. The violence that we saw today, we saw video of somebody being arrested, but the shooter not in custody looked like somebody with skills that shot him from a distance and took him out from a distance. Should other conservative influencers be worried about going out into public now? You know, this guy, you're being told by the left-wing media how he was radical or said hateful things or all this kind of stuff. I know lots of conservatives that didn't like him because they thought he was too mainstream. They thought he was not conservative enough. He was too vanilla for a lot of conservatives I know. And he got killed. So where will it go? How do you deal? How do you deal with making sure these things don't happen again? Would be a policy question for talk show listeners. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, you are live on the radio.
I've always been a student of history, Uncle Henry. And in the 20s and 30s in Europe, when you went out and spoke out against Mussolini's fascists or Hitler's Nazis, you were targeted for violence. This is what they did. They proved that they were not a political party. They were a terrorist organization. And what they did to Charlie Kirk today proves that the modern left is not a political party. They are a terrorist organization. They are the modern-day Nazis. The original topic of my call was going to be media coverage of some of these heinous crimes that have been committed lately and what the focus is going to be on. But that can wait for another day. Today I want to talk about these people keep proving over and over again just exactly what they are. They are not a political faction anymore. They are a terrorist organization. And another thing that's kind of buried back on the back burner is what they tried to do to Rudy Giuliani. That was not an accident, Uncle Henry. A vehicle ran him off the road. There were witnesses that said it was a black SUV, and they were deliberately targeting Giuliani. They knew it was his vehicle, and they were deliberately trying to kill him. That's who these people are. I wouldn't doubt that it was Soros behind what happened to Charlie Kirk today. This looks like the work of a professional. They may not even kick the guy.
Hey, Bert, I'm up on the break. Is there more that you wanted to say?
No, that about sums it up, Uncle Henry.
Hey, Bert, thank you. I appreciate hearing from you. And call back on another day with your other topic. There are more callers. We'll get to those callers as the Uncle Henry Show returns here on News Radio 710 after the break.
And watch for a crash on East 9 Mile Road at Jernigan Road in Pensacola. Also, heavy congestion south on Highway 59. It's about an hour and 15-minute drive from I-10 to Gulf Shores. Also on the Bayway, east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore, 37-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit card.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking. Thank you for being there watching the Uncle Henry Show today on YouTube. I appreciate it. I see Richard Harvey. I see Shadow Milk Cookie Jester. Love Freak 69. Pat Nelly, Bama Big Man. Rebecca Lockwood. Thank you all for looking in. Who else? Rob Morris, Tommy Browning. And Pat Nelly, please do call me. The whole point I'm in here is to get interaction with other human beings on the show. So please feel free. You don't have to call now. The phone lines are filled, but feel free whenever you want to give me a call. Pat and Nelly. You may know more than I do, like most people do. 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, thank you very much for your phone call. Or not your phone call. Thank you very much for your looking in. And that wonderful voicemail that we had yesterday about your Sunday at church. Enjoyed that immensely. Going to be back on the radio here in about 3 minutes with more talk. We've got a couple of callers hanging on. I only have capability of putting 2 people on hold at a time. Isn't that what? You know, the technology is amazing, and yet I can only put people on hold 2 at a time. Yes, amazing technology. Seeing a political assassination on my phone. A little difficult to concentrate on work or anything else when you're seeing that kind of stuff. Let's see. Of course, more to say on all of that when we go back on the radio. Let me see if there's anything I can tell you about that doesn't have anything today to do with today's political assassination. For the extreme elderly that might be looking in on YouTube, the TV show Law and Order, which I've never watched an episode of, they now have so many episodes of Law and Order that they are creating a special streaming channel that will only be Law and Order episodes. Be a 24/7 continuous broadcast of Law and Order. I think you'll be able to find it on Amazon Prime. Where did I see it? It's going to be on a lot of services. Again, I've never watched an episode. I think I'm at a point now where I may never, because I don't know that I could live long enough to now see all of them. It might be, I guess, is it good? It must be, if there's that many episodes, that they can have its own channel. All right, back on the radio here in about 30 seconds.
Sunshine and toasty afternoon temperatures. Our daytime highs on your Thursday will be in the low 90s. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle, founder of Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to make quality, custom-made blinds affordable to everyone. Traditional window covering retailers are expensive. Our prices are low, and our blinds are guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. It is 5:20 here on News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Got a couple of callers waiting. So let me go right to the phone so these folks can tell me what's on their mind. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. Hello, caller.
Hello, Uncle Henry. It's the Bama Bush Hog with Mobile Pirate Radio.
Mobile Pirate Radio. Look for Mobile Pirate Radio on Facebook. What is on your mind today, Bama Bush Hog?
Well, Uncle Henry, I want to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
Let me tell you something about the man. At 18 years old in college, he dropped out of college because he said they wasn't teaching him anything. And he started Turning Point USA. At 18 years old, with 25 folks, 25 young people, he started an empire. He helped Donald Trump get elected. His mantra when he went to college campuses was to sit down with those who disagreed with him, and his mantra was, prove me wrong. He would talk about the points that the Conservative Party, the Republican Party made, and the good faith for the American people, and proved anyone that he challenged anyone to prove him wrong.
Right.
That's all he did. He wasn't out there preaching this and that. He was just speaking the truth, and for goodness sake, they assassinated him for that today.
Right, absolutely. And that's all he did. Pretty much, you summed it up. He went and he had dialogues with people.
Yes, sir. At 31 years old, they silenced this great voice, Charlie Kirk. And now, I don't want to cause a stir, but the second question he was asked before he was assassinated was, how do you feel about the transgender shootings, mass killings that's going on in our country? And he got shot and killed before he could answer. That's concerning.
Well, the whole thing is, yeah, and I don't know that it had anything to do with what he was talking about at the time. It looks like the shot came from pretty far away. So the shooter no doubt went there wanting to kill him no matter what he was going to say.
Well, true that. It could just be coincidence that.
Yeah, you don't go there with a rifle and say, okay, if he talks trans, I'm going to whip this rifle out. No, they had him targeted. They were ready to kill him.
That's true. And President Trump has ordered all the flags and the national offices around the country flown at half-mast in honor of this young man who gave his life speaking for America. It's a sad day in America, Uncle Henry.
It is, and a lot of this, I'm trying to process. I watched a lot of people celebrating this afternoon, and it just feels like a lack of, not a lack of God, of course, and also a lack of any kind of a lack of respect for life itself.
Exactly.
That people have these days. A nihilistic society. So many people that are not connected to God, do not value life, and we all see the results of that. It's a horrible nihilistic. It feels like an evil older than civilization to me.
Something like that, Uncle Henry. His first question of the day there in Utah at that university was a Mormon talking, saying, what do you think about the Church of Latter-day Saints? And instead of getting into an argument, he just said, look, I believe in God. I believe in prayer. And if you do, I believe in you. I mean, the man was straight up. He spoke his mind. And for goodness sakes, he had no remorse about any other religion or anything of the sort, and yet they killed him. I pray for his family, pray for him and his soul, and God bless America. That's all I got to say, Uncle Henry.
Bush Hog, thank you. Mobile Pirate Radio. Look for Mobile Pirate Radio on Facebook. 251-479-2723, the telephone number to call here on the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry, you're a fine American. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. Thank you for calling. What is on your mind today?
Good. I appreciated the last caller here. He kind of, in a synopsis, is summing up what I would like to say here. We need to come back to center with Lord God Jesus Christ right here. America has gotten so far off track. We need to do that. But the sad thing is, like you talk about people that are going to celebrate the loss of life from this individual. Most of the liberals in the United States for years and years, their big thing was freedom of speech, First Amendment, which we are so blessed to have in the United States.
Amen.
But over the last 25 to 30 years, it's like you look around, your show gives people free reign. They don't have to agree with you. You give them a free platform right there. They can't get on here and talk vulgarity and stuff because they should not. But they're able to speak their mind. They don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with them. That's what we're based on here, having liberties that we have in this country. This is not a third world country. This is not a country here where we've got to step and sit there and listen to this thing, say, I don't agree with you, so we're just going to go and take you out. That is so wrong. All the liberals that are out there listening, you need to understand that the freedom of speech we have, there's a lot of bloodshed that was shed for us to be able to do that. Our men and women in uniform every day get out there, and they may not agree with what somebody's saying, but you know what? They stand with the United States, with our great country, to give you the freedom and the liberty to speak your rhetoric. So you just need to understand, as Americans, we are all Americans with the same unalienable rights.
Amen.
One of them is to sit there and speak the First Amendment. You don't have to agree with somebody. It doesn't give you or anybody else the right to inflict harm on them. This poor man right here was shot down in cold blood. The last times when JFK was shot, his brother Bobby and Dr. King, think about how that just polarized the country. It took us years and years and years to get over something like that. Even in Mobile, we've got an election coming up. It's polarizing us right here, just trying to elect the mayor. People need to understand, as Americans, Alabamians, and Mobilians, we are a blessed people with a blessed nation. We need to come back to center with God. We need to pray more. Pray for this young man that was shot in cold blood. I pray for his family, and I pray for the United States. We just need to come back to center there, Uncle Henry. I appreciate you with your platform, which you allow people to get out here, and hopefully somebody today will sit there and listen and maybe change their mind and realize what a great God-fearing nation that we are in. We are so blessed to be here. God bless you, Uncle Henry, and God bless America.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your words there. Thank you so much for your phone call. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Where is this all going to lead to? When these things happen to figures on the right end of the spectrum, I'm noticing already a lot of the reporting from the mainstream media isn't about the actual crime itself. It's the reaction among conservatives that they are reporting on. So where does it go from here? Back with more Uncle Henry Show after the news break. I got one phone line open at 251-479-2723.
In Milton, we've got a crash with road blockage. Highway 90 at Highway 197A. Also a crash on 9 Mile Road between Jernigan Road and University Parkway. And an accident on Snow Road at Tanner Williams Road. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Beau Rivage. Don't miss Tiffany Haddish, the Funny and Fearless Tour, live at Beau Rivage November 8th. The comedy queen brings bold humor, nonstop energy, and electric presence to the stage. Get your tickets now at BeauRivage.com. Schedule subject to change. Some restrictions may apply.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
President Trump says conservative activist Charlie Kirk is dead after a shooting on a college campus in Utah. It happened today during an outdoor Turning Point rally at Utah Valley University near Provo. Kirk was shot while speaking to hundreds of students. At least 3 students are injured after a shooting at a Denver area high school. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says the shooting happened at Evergreen High School just after 12:30 p.m. Sheriff spokesperson Jackie Kelly says more than 100 first responders headed to the school as quickly as they could when they saw initial reports.
I understand the worry and the concern. Like I said, the entire metro area came up here to help. A lot of them self-deployed, and we sure appreciate it because you don't know what you have until you get here.
Israel says strikes against Houthi leaders have been carried out in Yemen. In a statement on X, the IDF said the strikes were a response to attacks by the Houthis. I'm Brian Shook.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm John Saucier. Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk was shot and killed today at Utah Valley University. President Trump confirming on Truth Social. Joey Gallegos was a witness of the shooting. He was on Fox's The Will Cain Show to talk about what he saw.
The debater who was debating asked him about transgender gun violence or something, and then and that's when I heard I was reporting it, and then I heard the loud bang, which I can only imagine was a gunshot because everyone immediately dropped to the floor.
Charlie Kirk dead at 31 years old. The search for a suspect is ongoing. Kirk was kicking off his American Comeback Tour at the university located in Orem, just south of Salt Lake City. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. President Trump declaring all American flags throughout the United States be lowered to half-staff until Sunday at 6 p.m. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, YouTube viewers. Going to be back on the radio here in about 2.5 minutes. Thank you to those that are looking in. Let me see here. Tarzan. KP of SureButter.com. Tyler Fleming. Thank you all for looking in. And somebody has Tarzan as part of their screen name. Is there any character that seems more dated these days than Tarzan? Is there any character from 100 years ago that could be more, that would seem more out of date these days, that modern audiences probably would not go for than Tarzan? But thank you for looking. I appreciate very much you looking in on the. And by the way, did enjoy watching Tarzan movies and stuff when I was a child. Johnny Weissmuller, big celebrity in the country when I was a youngster. And Angelo, my late friend Angelo, collected, I think he collected everything that Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote. And when Angelo passed, I got a copy. I got Angelo's copy of the first Tarzan story that he had in his collection. I'm going to be back on the radio here in about 1 minute. I've got the phone lines filled with others trying to call. But that technology, the same technology that can let me see events from around the world, on my phone, I still can only put 2 people on hold at the same time. I've got to figure out how to upgrade all the technology and not just my phone. All right, back on the radio here in about, just a few seconds from now.
Greyhound, your way to go. Every trip, every reason.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It is 5:35. Have some people holding, waiting to talk. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. People reacting. So far, reactions to the murder of Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that many Americans have been able to see in horrid, awful detail on their phones today. A man killed who basically just would have dialogue with people. And apparently that is a bridge that is just too far for today's America to go out and have dialogue about politics. Some people not liking it to the point of wanting to put a bullet in him. Horrible, horrible situation. And where do we go from here? Let me go to the phones. Hello, caller.
Hey, good evening, Uncle Henry.
Cliff, you are live on the radio.
Uncle Henry.
Yes, sir.
That guy up in New York, that mayor, these people have been begging for folks to do stuff like this here. Right during Labor Day in Chicago, he was begging everybody to rise up, the gang members, and they always have been paying gang members. See, most of the people are stupid like him. AOC, Hank Johnson, all of those Democrats, they stupid. Mr. Green, all of those people are morons. They're stupid. But the leftists and the Marxists, these people are evil. And they will do anything. They get them to go out there and say little things, but these people have been paying gang members in Minnesota and all different places to get involved in this stuff. Not only do they pay for all the people that are out there protesting, because if those were regular people, that means ain't nobody in this country working.
Right.
They have been paying people. And you have people out there that would bite because you have evil, mean, ignorant people, because they tell us as black people the reason that we're not further along than where we are is because of the Republicans. And they believe that. Look what Donald Trump did. Look what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump tries to go to Chicago. The people aren't speaking. The governors and the mayors are speaking for them. We don't need them. We need more affordable houses. And Section 8 got you in the problem you in now. These people, the deep state, the George Soroses, and all these people are paying people. And they already got them brainwashed. There ain't no God. You ever heard a Democrat really say something about God? Then you're in real bad shape, because it's trouble. These people can't use God. They pervert it. They pervert people. Who in their right mind would try to trick a kid into getting castrated? These people are evil, the people that are behind this stuff. Most of the Democrats, like I say, are stupid and unenlightened. They don't understand how deep this thing goes.
Cliff, it's anti-life. It is anti-life. We are seeing there's such a nihilistic anti-life ethic out there especially among a lot of the young in this country. That
you know whose fault that is?
Tell me.
It's our fault, because they say things. They don't have anybody at home to tell the kids, look, that guy's lying to you. Those people are lying to you. My mama said, if you're going to look for a politician to do anything, you might as well go and hang yourself now, because the left is not into helping people. If you see it, they pervert people, they lie, they cheat, and they steal. I mean, right out front. And then they'll tell you right out in your face, we need $800 million to build more affordable houses. We don't need the police. We don't need that money for the police. We need that money for other stuff. When right now, the people need protection. They're not speaking for the people. They're speaking for themselves. They need that money for themselves. It never goes to any of those projects. It goes in people's pocket. And we have allowed that to happen because the people don't understand. We need each other. We don't need them. And until we get that, we're going to have them people fooling like we in a situation that we're not, but we killing each other like rats. But that's no big problem, because we got the politicians to protect us when these people don't give a rat's behind about you. You have a blessed day, Ken.
Thank you very much, Cliff. 251-479-2723, the telephone number to call here on the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You are live on the radio.
Well, I'm going to put the shoe on the other foot.
Okay.
Let's take the folk that are on there, and I read them, that are saying, good for him. He deserves this. These are consequences for his rhetoric, as consequences for his speech. Well, I keep hearing speech on the far left on all kinds of stuff. So what are the consequences? Well, you got right wing and left wing. Left wing strongly believes in gun control, probably doesn't own very many guns. The vast majority of registered guns are in the hand of right wingers. And if they decide to rise up and cull this bunch of barely humans that agrees that this atrocity was deserved, is that a good thing or a bad thing at this point? I'm beginning to wonder. I really am. It's against my nature to agree with it, but at the same point in time, I look at these and I'm wondering, are they even human anymore? Do they even possess a human soul? Because what kind of human soul can come up and say that he and his family deserve this? I truly wonder if we have gotten to the point where humanity deserves a civil war.
Well, I hope that we haven't, but we of course, we can look through history and see that these things happen throughout history from time to time where people go up against each other like this. I hope we're not there in this country, but it is, you look around, you see the lack of God, people not having God in their lives. And when that happens, of course, that creates that vacuum, and there's people just seem to have no respect for life whatsoever.
None.
No respect for life.
No personal responsibility of any sort.
So you have thank you very much for your phone call. Of course, we're all going to hope for cooler heads to prevail. But as you just heard in that last phone call, people that would not ordinarily want to even say things or think things like that, well, look at a guy get blown away on their phone for the sin of having a dialogue on a college campus, and they start having thoughts like this, like, where is it going to go? What am I going to have to do to protect my family in a godless time where people are running around that do not have any respect for life at all? How am I going to protect my family? What's going to be the right move for my family? So, and I still wonder where it's going to go. I have the horrible feeling that it'll get worse before it gets better because of what I mentioned at the beginning of the hour. All of these celebrations of the death, the wanting to condemn him within minutes of his death, and then look to pounce on any reaction to it. And I'll tell you, more tomorrow, you're going to see some stories about the actual assassination of Kirk, but you're going to see more stories about the reaction to it. What is the right wing doing? How is the right wing reacting? That'll be the story in the mainstream on that. Just like with when the woman was murdered in North Carolina. A lot of the mainstream reporting was not that a woman was murdered. A lot of the reporting was, look at the reaction. There is more to come in this hour of Uncle Henry Show, but first, a break. After the break, more of your calls at 251-479-2723.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Several accidents out there. One is on Snow Road at Tanner Williams Road. Also, we have a crash in Cantonment on southbound Highway 297A at Pine Forest Road. Watch for a crash in Pensacola, Blue Angel Parkway at Longleaf Creek Drive, and also a crash in Milton, Highway 90 at Bell Lane. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you.
Facebook viewers, YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in. Going to be back on the radio here in about 4 minutes. Let me look and see if there's anything I can tell you about. There was a woman in California that is facing 5 felonies. She's been charged with 5 felonies because she registered her dog to vote. California woman registered her dog to vote in 2 elections, saying that she did it to expose the flaws in California's voting system. She allegedly registered her dog to vote in the 2021 and 2022 elections in California. The Department of Justice says that the dog's vote was officially counted in the 2021 governor's recall election. But the vote was rejected in 2022. So waiting to find out. She made her first court appearance yesterday, and she's claiming that she turned herself in. She did this on purpose to expose the flaws in California's voting system. I'm wondering, are they going to cut her some slack, or will she face big penalties with her 5 felonies? I've noticed there are flaws in some systems. I don't know that I want to point those flaws out by committing a felony. I think I'll let somebody else do that. The Department of Labor has come up with a list of the top 10 jobs they say will grow the fastest over the next decade. So if you're thinking of a new career, or maybe you've got a loved one, a younger relative that is starting a career, here are the 10 jobs the government says are going to grow the fastest over the next decade. Wind turbine service technicians. Now, I don't know about that because, President Trump has gone out of his way to verbally attack wind power. But who knows? He's not going to be president for 10 years. He's only got a few more years left. So wind turbine service technicians, top growing job, along with solar photovoltaic installers, nurse practitioners, data scientists, information security analysts, medical and health service managers, physical therapist assistants, actuaries, operation research analysts, whatever that is, and physician's assistants. Those are the top jobs. Those jobs are supposed to grow the fastest over the next decade. I was hoping there would be something in the list that I could do, that I already knew how to do, like making a sandwich or something, but it's not in there.
Now, number 1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeart radio station.
It says the Uncle Henry Show. It is 5:50. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry, it's Johnny Gwynn.
Johnny Gwynn, you are live on the radio.
I do feel sorry for that Kirk family. Have you seen the video on X?
Yes.
The close-up video of him getting shot?
I have not. Well, I don't know if I've seen the close-up. I saw one that was something that I can't stop thinking about for hours and hours. It probably was what you're talking about because it is possibly the most violent real-life thing I've seen on video.
Yeah, it reminds me of the overhead shot when George Wallace got hit a little bit, when they had that video on, that film on him. But I get that feeling of the 60s when you had, a series of Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, George Wallace, everybody. You get that feeling. I didn't live through that time. I've only seen the historic records, and stuff.
Right.
It just feels like this time of just complete chaos, and the idea of people wanting it to get to chaos.
Well, yeah, and I've noticed over the past week on social media more violent rhetoric leading up to, and none of it was about Charlie Kirk, but I've just noticed over the past week people encouraging each other to go to war with each other.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, I kept thinking, am I noticing some type of op going on where somebody somewhere is trying to use algorithms to get us at each other's throats? in this country. And and I don't know. I mean, that may just may be my own paranoia here, but I've seen a lot of it over the past week, especially.
But what gets me is he's a pundit. You know, he's not a politician. I will say he had a lot to do with President Trump being in the White House.
Right.
The state of Arizona, he did a lot of work in the state of Arizona, but the amount of young people who felt it was okay to openly say they were conservative or voted for Trump on a college campus seems revolutionary to me.
Well, it is. It is.
And he created that group that allowed them to find, I might feel like I'm alone in a class, that I can't stand up to a teacher who is berating me or berating the United States or whatever it is. But when you found out that you could create these clubs of like, there are people just like you don't have to sit in silence. You can at least speak your mind. And again, what a weird target. He's a weird target to me.
Well, because he is not, most conservative, most of the real right wingers don't consider him a firebrand. A lot of them have been critical because they think he's too nice to the other side and he's just not conservative enough.
Yeah, and also his platform, university colleges, which to be honest, the Republican Party gave up, young people a long time ago.
Sure did.
And then, these firebrands were the ones that said, I don't believe it. And they kind of showed them, there is a movement. There's a way to talk to these people. There's a way to engage with this. But again, it's just, and then, looking at this shooting, it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's a pretty professional hit.
Yeah, it does.
It seems very professional. It doesn't seem like some kook.
No.
I don't know. The guy that shot President Trump in Pennsylvania sure didn't look like a professional to me, but he got darn close, didn't he?
He sure did.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked to see today's news. That's not a target that I just would think would be painted with a target on his back. But, we live in strange times, and I hate to say it, I'm with you. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But I've seen a lot of moderate conservative voices on X that have flipped to scorched earth in the snap of a finger. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, very moderate voices are now talking like the most radical extremists on the right that I have heard before.
Well, yeah. Well, it's, and again, back to that video, that's a radicalizing thing to look at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And then if there is a movement to create that movement of a more extreme right wing to create a conflict, is that the purpose? That's the thing is that what maybe one of the things to do is these actions are to actually create that another big confrontation. The January 6th is the gift that keeps on giving to the Democratic Party.
Yes.
If they can roll that out anytime we try, the right tries to take the high ground.
Yes.
Right? They will roll out January 6th no matter what. So to push, and the left doesn't seem to have the same.
Johnny, I'm out of time for the segment. Thank you, Johnny.
Fox on Tech.
President Trump wants to ensure that America stays the dominant lead in artificial intelligence.
Johnny Gwynn, thank you for your phone call. All right, and I guess he can't hear me for whatever reason. All right, well, YouTube viewers, thank you for looking. Going to turn the camera off. I will be back tomorrow at the regular time here on News Radio 710 WNTM, The Uncle Henry Show, and on YouTube.
Into an AI export powerhouse, from chips to software to data storage, making sure the world runs on American AI and the American AI stack. And he signed a final order banning the federal government from procuring AI technology that has been infused with